Dear viewers, welcome to our project-based tutorial in Autodesk Inventor. In today's lesson, we are going to learn on how to draw an isometric block as it is shown here. Upon completion of this block, we will then convert it and draw its orthographic views. So our first lesson will be this isometric block. And as you can see, it has quite a number of features. It has a hole, it has this curve, it has this part, and we'll know how to use various tools in order to achieve our objective. Now, this will be our orthographic views from the isometric block. Here I've dimensioned it to assist us in order to draw, and therefore, as you can see, depending on whether it's first angle projection or third angle projection, it's entirely up to you or you want to place it. Also, we'll learn it when we're doing it. We'll have also to dimension the drawing, the orthographic views, which is also key in our learning objective. And most importantly, also there's a challenge, and sometimes when drawing orthographic views or detailed drawings, so the title block is also key. You've got to know how to edit it and also insert or modify it or dimension it as per your preference. All this will be learning in our second part of this lesson, which is lesson B. Now I'll zoom this one for clarity and position it so that I will use it to retrieve our dimensions in our practice. Straight away, let's go to let me close this one because we don't need now. We've seen our objectives, so I'll close it so we can start a new drawing. Now I'm going straight away by creating a new part file in metric standard.it millimeters, and here we are. But before we start our drawing, it's worthwhile to know that Autodesk Inventor has quite a number of tools and commands that are at your disposal. As you can see, you can toggle on the ribbons, and the ribbons, there are quite a number of tools. For example, under environment, you can do stress analysis, you can also render your images, you can create animations, you can among other things. Also, you can know how to save your file in a format that is printable by the 3D printers. For now, and beginners, we'll start from the basics on how to draw the isometric block. And here we are going to start our drawing under 2D sketch. Here, as when you click, you'll see there is a 3D and a 2D sketch. Well, I'd like to make a few points for the beginners that is worthwhile. Very important to know that elevations are used, especially for those who've done engineering drawing and have taken engineering classes. Elevations are key in any given drawing. For example, if you're going to draw orthographic views and you're viewing it from the plan, then you've got to know which kind of elevation are you using. In drawing also, in Inventor, it gives you this ability to be able to. Now, if I'm saying this is I start this 2D sketch, it does not mean that we are going to not use the elevation, but we are going to do it sketch in 2D, but selecting a specific elevation. For example, I'm going to start with a plan to draw. Why the plan? Simply because there are quite a number of ways you can draw this drawing. As you can see, I want to use or draw an L-shaped, and then from it extrude to get this block, the base. The dimensions are given here. I'll use them. It's 96 by 64. Let me zoom it out by 64. This is okay. 64 and 96, and also the height is 48 from this base, and also 16. So that's also 64 by 16. So straight away I'll go to our newly created part 3. We'll later save it to a new file name, and I'll select the base, which is this one, XZ plane, insert. oh sorry, I don't want to use the XZ plane because I want to use the front elevation. So I'll start with this plane. Thank you. Now I'll pan and drag it. These are the basics. You can use your mouse very well to your convenience by using the wheel of the mouse in panning when you press it and hold and drag. Now straight away I'll go to the rectangle command, click on the point of origin. I want to use it, and the length is 96 by 16. You use a tab key and 16. There we go. You press enter. It has drawn for you, or yes, in this case it's for me, and I'll press escape. Here we are. I can zoom it out for clarity and position it by panning it and dragging it along the workspace. Here we are. Now you can resize these dimensions, but I'll now proceed to the next level by creating the other part, drawing it. You can say it was 48 and take it back to this one. I'll later dimension it and I press enter. I've completed this, but before then I need to dimension the drawing. So it's important. This one has been dimensioned, this one has been shown. This is the only dimension that we're missing, which is key, and it's 16. We can refer to the drawing that we were given. Okay, now I'll move this one, the dimension from within the drawing. Here we are, and also this one downwards. Another thing, I want it to be a unified else drawing, so I'll have to cut this part by trimming it. So the best way to do is select this part and click on the trim, and here we are. Now these are dimension lines, so you don't have to worry. These are complete L-shaped drawing. So you click finish, sketch, and you can as well as use toggle in between F5 and 6 to bring your drawing back to the previous position it was. But I can click also, you can use the view cube to position your drawing very well. Here we go. I will now go to the next level by extruding it by pressing an letter E on the keyboard, or you can click on the extrusion command here and you invoke this window, which you can dialog with it to get your end result. But I want to position this extrusion towards the inside part, and I'll show the length. In this case, the length I'll refer to the diagram or the drawing. Here it is 64 millimeters. So I'll go back to the drawing and select the distance of extrusion, which is 64, and that's it. I've completed. I say okay. Now here we go to, I can pan, zoom, and zoom extend to give me the position and the view of my choice. Now here we are. The next level is, now I want to consider this part, to draw this part and this part, but I'm going to do it from the back elevation or the back view in the actual drawing or the sketch. Now we have to take our dimensions. Here is 28, then in by, that's height, by 40. So I'm gonna do this one, 40 by 28, this length from the back. Okay, here we go. How are we going to do it? And also this one, I'll have to consider number of parts there. Now straight away I'll go to the drawing, rotate it using even this one, and I want this part. So when you select this surface and click on sketch, and it's a new sketch now, in this case, click on align, and you start by drawing the height of this was 28. Type 28, press enter as long as you've shown the direction, and that one is 40. Enter, and back to this one, enter. I think it's fully constrained. It has been shown as fully constrained. Dimension, drag the dimensions out, and also this one out of the drawing to make it neat. And finally I want to draw this line from that corner. You can also, it can snap. Let me, yeah, it just snap to that point, and that one, and I'll close it. It's also fully constrained, so I don't need to draw that line even. Okay, in this case there is another part here, the curve. This part, this curve is R12. so we need to position it at the center, 8 millimeters from the curve. So I'll go back again and I'll draw a center line. It's important. This is how you draw a center line. You click on the center line, invoke it. You can see, you can toggle in between when it's active, you can see, or when it's inactive. So you click on the line and you can hover your mouse, your cursor over there, it gets snapped to the midpoint, and I can draw that line. But unfortunately it's not the center line. You can select it and change it to being a center line. Here we are, here we go. Now the last part is to draw this using an arc. I want to use this arc. Okay, the number of options, as you can see, you can use a 3-point, tangent, and center point. Now I'm going to use a center point because I already have a center point here to start with, and I can specify the length, any, because I'll edit it later, and show the direction to which I want to draw it. And there is our curve. Okay, I need to dimension the curve. By clicking it, I'll just position it even there or here, but in this case let me position it there. It's 12, so here we go. Now I think we've completed it. Just select the curve and trim this part so that it's a block of its own without this part. We have completed our part in drawing, and then that's it. Just rotate it to position your view very well. I've used now this time, and as zoom extend, I've not the view. Well, here we go. As usual, click extrusion or press letter E on the keyboard to invoke the extrusion command. In this case we have two of these. Now I'm going to do one at a time, so I'll select this one, the first part, but I'll change the direction. You can hold and drag it inside, or you can change by using these tools that are available at your disposal. I don't want to extrude it up to this edge, but it's supposed to leave a distance of 22. Let me show a distance of 22 millimeters from this edge. So it's 64 minus 22, that's 42. So you go back to the drawing, and I'm going to show this direction is okay. 64 minus 22 from the edge is 42 millimeters. There it is, and then you just click apply. Do not say okay, because we have two of these, and I'll create them separately, but I'll have to. Yeah, the second one, sorry, I didn't check the dimension. We'll go back again. It's going to be extruded to a length distance of 12 millimeters. So I go back again to the drawing, I select it, I change the direction, and we define the length is 12 millimeters. Here it is, and we are done. Now you can say okay, because there's no more extrusion in that part. Now I'm going to go to the other part by selecting the surface, and I'm going to create a new sketch of its own. Now here we go. I can rotate it in whichever way I want it. I prefer this way, so that I can draw this section part, which is 16 by 16 by 16, and also R8. Here we go. Now in this case I'm going to use a rectangle command. Is preferable the most flexible one, and this time I've just drawn without showing the dimension, so I will have to show the dimension first and foremost. This length from here is what? Sorry, I click again, this length, and that one is 16. I want to constrain it as recommended, as required, and also okay, this length. Okay, this length is also what? Is also 16. Now here we go, and most importantly, what? This part. That's it. This length also. Is 16 millimeters. Now we have this curve which is R8. What I'm going to do again, I'm going to draw the center line as I did the other time. Here the midpoint, just snap with the midpoint, I draw a line which is denotes a center line. That's it, and use an arc to draw a curve starting from that point, and if I'll show the dimension, I can even delete this one now. I can delete this one because I want to show the dimension of this curve, and I'll dimension it by clicking on that one and specifying it, because I really need it to be exact. You can see it's not exactly 8, and there was no accuracy. Yes, now I'll now select it and trim the interior parts of the drawing, and it's a complete part. Save, right click, and immediately extrude command. Now in this case I'm going to pan and move it. Now the extrusion command, I need to select the surfaces. Here we go, and I'll select the second one, and I'll change the direction. We've known about this one. Now I'm going to cut through now up to the bottom. I'm going to show the distance. In this case, cut through. There we go, we're good. Click OK. Voila, here we go. You can zoom out, you can pan, you can play with it using the cube. For example, if you want to change that position, you want to see the top, which is the plan, and you can rotate it however you want it, depending on whether we wanted to view from the side as the from this part as the front elevation. You can position it that way. Now I think we are done with this part. Now let's go to our home, and we are prepared with this hole that is there. So I've selected surface and also sketch it, drag pan, zoom and position it well. Well, in this case, select that part, draw your circle. I haven't checked the dimensions, so let me go to the drawing and refer. It's supposed to be, the hole is 10 millimeters of diameter, from the center is 12 millimeters, and there is 20 millimeters. I go back to the drawing. Beautiful, here we are. Street I want to restrict it by dimensioning it from the center up to this edge. It's 20 millimeters. 20 millimeters, okay. And from this center again to this edge, it's 12 millimeters. You press enter, and finally the dimension of the circle itself, it's 10 millimeters, the diameter. Here we are. As you can see, it's full constraint. You say finish the sketch, and straight away we're going to use extrusion. Extrusion has been our very common command. In this case, I'm going to change the direction through this one. As I don't want to show the distance, I'll say, so it is highlighted, but it's 12 millimeters, but I'll say cut through with extrusion, and that's it. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, now here we go. There's one thing that we haven't feature that we haven't considered is this edge, which is filleted, and it's R32. Okay, we now use a different command altogether by selecting fillet. Here it is. You can press F, or you can fillet. You can click on the fillet and specify the radius is 32 millimeters, and click on this edge. Now it's a 3D, so I'm going to click on that edge and to fillet it that way. Say OK. Wow, this is it. We've finished our part A of the isometric block. We can now rotate it as you want. Okay, you can press your shift key down, or you can use any kind of tool that you want. That's it. You'll save now. Because I haven't saved, and that's why it's reflected as part 3. So go to file, save as, or for the first time, because it's not been saved, you can click on save and say my, what is it? Let's call isometric exercise 1A. Complete. Find a file folder, or you can create your own new. I want to take it to this part, and let me say orthographic, and I'll go, there's no any of this. Let me say isometric, my isometric exercise 1A. You save it and say OK. You've completed part A. Now let's move to part B, where we'll be changing this isometric block into orthographic views. Thank you.